All right. All right. Good morning. Welcome to the well for the week of January 9th, 2023. Maria from Bloom and Angela from Grounded Dreamers for our weekly soul guidance reading. And first, let's just pause and just kind of anchor where you are in this moment, finding a word, finding a sentence, just anchoring into the essence of where you are right now. And then we'll go into the reading for this week. Angela.
Okay, so the reading is centered around our transformation. I pulled transformation. That's the first card I got. And it's asking us to be open to change. Immediately surrounding those cards, it's funny how sort of energetically, this is how it feels as well. We feel crowded in sometimes if we're not seeing the change we want. Our thoughts start to crowd us in and anchor us into place. And because we're focusing on the fact that we're not transformed, I'm not where I want to be. I keep coming up against the same obstacle or whatever. There's a tight, constrictive feeling to that. And I got postponement. Mm-hmm. So this is that vibe of, I know what I want, but it's not here. And I feel like I'll never get there. And just that alone, because we know we want the change and we know it's not in our experience right now, this creates stress. If we keep repeating that sort of cycle of, it's not here, I really want it, it's not here, I really want it, it's not here, that kind of a cycle, that's just creating energetic stress. And eventually that will transform into physical or emotional or another kind of stress, but it starts with the energetic stress that this cycle creates. I want it, it's not here. I want it, it's not here. It's very human. We do it so often.
Well, it perpetuates scarcity. I'm sorry to interrupt. It perpetuates scarcity. I want what's not here. I want what's not here. That feeling of scarcity is what gets perpetuated.
I love it. And what we want to transform there is to drop the it's not here. We want to just say, I want. This is my desire, and leave it open-ended. Then you leave space for the universe and your own whole being to find, navigate a way toward that thing you want. We start with the imagination. So we use our mental capability there, not for reminding us it's not here, but for opening up to what could be possible. How could I get there? I want this. I could do it like this. I could do it like this. It says, let your dreams take flight. So this is more open-ended. There's more flow there because we're dropping the but it's not here phrase. Now we have an open sort of a landscape and all these possibilities of how to get to where we want to be. And then we assess those possibilities and make a decision to take one step toward it. This sounds good. I think I'll try this right now. This is the Fool energy. Now we get to take one step down the road toward that. If we come to a dead end or a place where, that decision didn't really pan out, now you make a new decision. And you set down the road again. We don't want to focus on the fact that we're not there. It's that, this is what I want. Okay, what are my possibilities? Decide one and then decide another and decide another step to get there. And we want to mention too that this could be like a tangible thing you want to see created in your life, a project, a relationship, moving a relationship to the next level, or it could be something within, removing your own blocks. And a lot of times I would say, 99 out of 100 times, that's the way to get to that next level in your relationship or to that project, is removing your own internal energetic blocks. So the possibilities in your imagination and the expansion of the way you see it is the first step. Mm-hmm. Then we want to always, since we are not just minds, we are also spirits, we want to include our spiritual insight into it. We want to just create the awareness that we're not alone in creating this, that there are factors in the universe and, guidance available to us to make this happen, to, find the solutions toward that thing that we want to achieve. And that says sacredness down below there. So this is really tapping into
Sacred.
this foundational sacredness of our life and of what we get to create here while we're here. Then we also attached to that, I got heavenly signs. This is now that you're tapped into both your mind and your spirit, you can be, you're making decisions, but you can also be aware of what is being put in front of you. You've called to the universe, this is what I want. Now, how is the universe responding? It will provide you with, new data, new things to learn, new people in front of you, new insights or intuitions that guide you toward that thing you want. I love that this reading includes staying aware of how the universe is responding to your desire. And then we end this portion of the reading with celebration. So we get to, and this could be every one of those fool roads that we start down a new path, make a new decision. But remember to celebrate in between those decisions. Oh, I got this far. Now I move a little more. Oh, I got this far now, right? So that's how that, that's the end of that first portion of the reading.
Yeah, it's, hearing it again, because we hear, in the well, we hear it, and then hearing it again, I'm seeing how this is really about transcending from scarcity to the sacred. And bringing our attention towards the sacred is how we do that. How we transform out of scarcity. And it's out of focusing on limitation and what's lacking and what's missing, is orienting towards the sacred. That's what, I'm seeing in this. And I was just thinking too, last week we were working on bringing in the wind and the activation of breath to that where, to that which is within, that we feel, blockage or density or resistance. Yeah, so let's pause and be with this reading and take a deep breath in, and using the breath, allowing the breath to find its way through the body to any blocks, any density, any resistance, any feelings of scarcity and lack, and using the breath to support releasing it with the intention that it be transmuted. And then just allowing yourself to settle into the stillness and see what you see for yourself in this reading. And begin to allow an intention for this week to emerge. And it's often a hunch or a little voice inside. That's the intention coming through. So honoring that, paying attention to that, allowing it up, centering in the heart, and then offering it up. And then we'll go into the second part of the reading.
I love that. Yeah, just the act and the action of, the presence of breath and oxygen into your body and into your whole being. That right there is abundance. It's all the abundance you really need. And it's the first step, I guess, toward. And that is something to be grateful for. And then gratitude brings the next step down our path. It's really just pausing to feel life, the life force that's within you. I love that, because now we're moving on to the creator vibes. Now we're manifesting, right? I got creator air. So now that we've worked on, right? Yeah, air. And we've removed the blocks, and now we're left with this, big space of air, of creator air, and ready to manifest that thing that we're wanting to see, the change that we want to see come through. We're reminded to continue to connect to the divine, surrender. As a lot of you may know, I like to replace the word surrender with allow. I understand that surrender is a good feeling to sort of let go of the blocks, but I love allow as well. instead of like surrendering, like I have to give myself over to this energy, it's more like I allow whatever is present to come through and help guide me into my next step. So that energy is it's important, and even just the breathing in the air, you're allowing for the energy to flow. Reminding you to stay connected, to tap into that universal oneness that we're part of. We're all connected. There is a collective consciousness at work that we can always tap into, that we can always at least create an awareness of, that it's present, and then things can start flowing and moving within us. And then it wouldn't be a Grounded Dreamers reading without reminding us to stay grounded as well. Our practicality is just as important as our spirituality. The decisions we make in our mind and the action we take is just as important as the dreaming up of it, and the intuitive directions that we're led to go, and the signs that are brought through from the universe. But also that practical side is important as well. So it's always trying to strike that balance. This is a full moon in Pisces. This moon deck, every card is applied to the moon, and that sort of duality of the two fish in Pisces is always important to keep them moving right within your energetic sphere. Now that you have that awareness that I will stay grounded, I will make one decision at a time as I'm manifesting this new space that I want to be in, or this new project. Now we have activation. And I think Maria mentioned we've had this last week, and this is also part of the steps we're taking in this reading. There will always be a time for action, but if we're just blindly acting and going and trying, we will hit our heads against a lot of walls, right? It's first to get a sense of where you want to go, and then pause, celebrate, and get a sense of where you want to go next, and then go. It doesn't have to be this continuous barrage of forward movement, right? It actually should not be, because that's, that creator air ends up getting a little foggy. And then as we're moving, as we've activated our entire being and moving toward that, we want to be reminded of the no thingness card, of not attaching to anyone. Like, the only way I'll be happy is if this turns out with all these steps in order, and it ends up looking and feeling like this. Kind of not how it works, right? In general, I know I want to feel like this in the end, and I know I want to achieve something similar to this. And then let the creativity of the universe and your own intuitive guidance let you discover the path there, and find, maybe this thing that you wanted in the end becomes bigger than you ever thought it could be, or more fulfilling, or, oh yeah, I achieved that, okay, I'm ready to move on to the next thing. Maybe it's just a stop on your road toward the manifestation. Then we're reminded again, patience, right? Just know that the minute you declare I want, right? Remember, we removed but it's not here. But the minute you declare I want and leave that open, the universe is putting the pieces into place for you. Along with your own practical applications, you will begin to travel toward that thing you desire. If you trust that, then there is no real need to tell yourself be patient. But the energy of patience is always there, because as we see, that woman will give birth after 7, 8, 9, 10 months or so, right? She will give birth, and there is no forcing it. There is no predicting exactly when and how it's going to happen. It will just occur because it's the desire of, the universe has brought this for you. So all of these pieces put together, the manifesting energy, surrendering to the divine, staying grounded in your practicality, not expecting any one way to come out. This just creates an effortless feeling, and you're flowing now. Now you're in the flow of that flow that the universe has designed for you. Now you're in that. You're you know, maybe even at some point along the road, you lose sight that, oh yeah, I wanted that. I forgot, because you're so excited engaging with what is right here in your energy, but you're still in the flow. Right. So that's a beautiful way to end that piece too, because that flow is what we all seek. Right. And when we started with this blocks and the stress and that postponement card, we were not in flow at all. Right. And we got to travel and be reminded of, you know, mind and spirit and how they work together to get us there.
Yeah, definitely. And to remember when we're in those darker spaces, those harder spaces focused on what we don't have and that lack energy, how important it is to reorient our awareness to patience, like you're saying, the card that came through, and to use the wind activation and the breath to support us being present with what we need to be present for when we're in those harder spaces, but then again, reorient towards the fall, the waterfall, right? The flow and the sacredness that is there for us. And I feel like the theme of celebration, it just keeps coming through the readings. You know, it comes in periodically and then it comes in several times. And it's just such an important quality of manifesting abundance. Such an important quality.
That's the gratitude piece.
It's
Yeah.
the gratitude piece. Yeah. And it's like being grateful even for the hard parts is so critical. And celebrating what deserves to be celebrated, what needs to be celebrated, like celebrating all of life. It's what allows for that sweetness in our hearts. And when that celebration doesn't occur, it's so painful. And that's scarcity, actually. And celebration oh, sorry.
I was going to say, that's just that trip that our mind takes us on, because just when you were saying earlier, bring in the breath and feel that life force. That's something to celebrate right there.
Absolutely.
That's your abundance. Then from there, you carry that forward with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I've actually been sick the last couple of days and I've had congestion. I did a test. I don't have COVID, but I do have some sort of bronchial infection. And it reminded me of being sick in 2007 when my lungs hemorrhaged and I literally, my lungs filled up with blood. And what you just said now about breath, I mean, it is such a gift of life. And we take it for granted, I think, you know, as we're moving through our days and we're moving through our life. And yet, because it's always there, our heart's beating, you know, and yet if it stops, we stop, our life ends. It is truly a gift to celebrate. So I just love that reminder that's coming through and the connection to the sacred and using the breath to clear blocks and clear resistance and resentments and regrets and, you know, all those R words. Which regenerate, allow for regeneration.
And regenerate. I don't know about you, but I do notice that when I'm under a lot of stress, when my mental is too overloaded and I'm just trying to think everything through, I don't breathe. I mean, I'm not like turning blue, but my breath is very short.
Right. We gasp, right? We hold our breath.
I hold it and then I just take little breaths because I'm in my mind too much. And so to be able to just breathe space into that is so important. And you're right, that and to be, and you're in a unique situation because you've been in a place where the breath wasn't always accessible to you with the lung issues that you had. And I mean, talk about gratitude for for one breath.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Breath.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I remember being in the ICU and I was like fighting for a breath. I mean, it is a profound experience to go through that. And so it's easy to forget as well. And so thank you for bringing that reminder in and for us all to just really honor the air and the ability to breathe. It's just all connected. So yeah, so let's pause again and just be with the reading and what's coming through and honor your intention for this week. Make a wish in the well and have a beautiful week. Thank you so much.